So Keisha Lance Bottoms is the newest name in the race. A lot of people probably remember her from working here at Atlanta City Hall as the mayor. She dealt with a lot at that time, the COVID-19 pandemic, the George Floyd riots, as well as a federal investigation into her predecessor, Kasim Reed. So now she's hoping that people will remember that she has that experience as she tries to take this across the street to the Capitol, entering the race for Georgia governor.
The state's looking for a fighter right now, someone who will fight against the chaos that's coming out of Washington.
And former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms thinks she is that fighter. Bottoms became the latest candidate to enter the race for Georgia governor Tuesday, saying it was the widespread defeat of Democrats in the November election that cemented her decision.
We have to go out and earn the votes.
Donald Trump is a disaster for our economy and our country.
In a campaign video announcing her run, Bottoms said she wants to be a stopgap between Trump's agenda and Georgians she says are hurt by it. After her time at City Hall, Bottoms worked for the Biden administration as a presidential advisor. She says it's experience that will help.
It also has given me insight into how decisions are made, how resources are allocated to states, and how we lean in to make sure that Georgians are getting everything that they need and deserve.
As governor, Bottoms said she would expand the state's Medicaid system through federal funding and work to eliminate the state income tax for teachers. She'd also go after corporate landlords she says are buying up entire neighborhoods and driving up rent prices. As mayor, she added 7,000 units of affordable housing to Atlanta's stock.
I'll be a good steward of taxpayer money in the same way that I was in Atlanta.
As for the gubernatorial race itself, here's who's in and who's out. Aside from Bottoms, Democratic State Senator Jason Estevez and Republican Attorney General Chris Carr have both confirmed they're running. Both Democratic Georgia Congresswoman Lucy McBath and attorney Jason Carter, the grandson of Jimmy Carter, already ruled out runs. They cited the health of their spouses as the reason. Georgia has not had a Democratic governor since 1999, and if elected, Bottoms would be both the first female and the first black governor of our state. We're in downtown Atlanta. Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.